My dear, thank you for joining me in this gentle moment, as if we were sitting together beneath an old tree or sharing a quiet cup of tea as the world hums softly outside. And I want you to know how cherished you are, how much your presence means in this world, even on the days you doubt it yourself. Today, I'd like to talk with you about living with an open heart, about the quiet courage it takes to choose kindness and compassion, and the gentle power these choices have to change your life and the lives of others. The world can be a noisy place, full of distractions, pressures, and the sometimes sharp edges of other people's pain. But I hope you'll discover, sooner than I did, that the most meaningful way to live is with your heart wide open, to notice others, to listen, to forgive, to reach out, and to let yourself be touched by both joy and sorrow. When you live this way, you become a safe harbor in a stormy world, a warm lamp in someone's darkness. And perhaps most important of all, you become a friend to yourself. Kindness is never wasted. I remember times when a gentle word from a stranger turned my whole day around, when a smile from a neighbor made the world feel less lonely, when someone listened to me, truly listened, with their eyes and heart until my worries grew a little lighter and my hope a little stronger. These are small things, but they ripple outward in ways you may never see. If you choose kindness, not only are you helping others, you are healing your own heart, teaching yourself to see goodness everywhere and inviting that goodness to grow. Compassion, too, is a gift you give to the world and to yourself. To be compassionate is to see someone's struggle and want to ease it, to offer patience instead of judgment, to understand that every person you meet is carrying a weight, a longing, a story you may never fully know. When you act with compassion, you remind others of their own humanity, and you remind yourself that we are all, at our core, connected, more alike than different, all worthy of love, all deserve. There will be days when it feels hard to be kind, especially when you are tired or hurt or frustrated. But those are the days when kindness matters most. Being gentle with others starts with being gentle with yourself. Forgive your own mistakes. Be patient with your learning. And remember that growth is a slow and beautiful process. You do not have to have all the answers. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be willing to try, to care, to reach out again and again, even when the world seems indifferent. I hope you will practice kindness in small, everyday ways, by listening more than you speak, by noticing when someone needs help, by offering a smile, a note, a hand, a moment of your time. These acts add up. They make your life richer, your spirit lighter, your days more meaningful. You might be surprised at how often kindness circles back to you, sometimes in the form of unexpected friendships, or a helping hand just when you need it, or a sudden realization that your own heart feels steadier and warmer than before. The secret is that living with an open heart does not protect you from pain or disappointment. Instead, it makes you strong enough to hold both, the heartbreak and the hope, the sorrow and the joy. Compassion in action can be as simple as holding the door, letting someone go ahead in line, asking, "How are you?" and really listening to the answer, forgiving a sharp word, or choosing to see the best in someone even when it isn't easy. I want you to know that you are never too young or too old to make a difference with kindness. You do not need a grand stage or a special talent, just a willingness to notice and to care. Some of the greatest healers and changemakers are the ones who move quietly through the world, tending wounds that no one else sees, offering encouragement when it is needed most, bringing laughter and comfort where there is fear. And, my dear, never underestimate the power of a simple thank you. Gratitude opens the heart to even more kindness. If someone helps you, take the time to let them know. If you appreciate something, speak it aloud. Gratitude and kindness feed each other, growing together like two strong vines, filling your life with color and fragrance and light. Let your heart stay open, even when it feels risky. There will be days when people disappoint you, when you feel misunderstood or left out or taken for granted. Let those moments be teachers, not reasons to close yourself off. Each time you choose compassion over resentment, each time you forgive or try again, or offer a little extra patience, you are building a life of deep meaning and unshakable strength. I have seen the power of kindness in my own life and in the lives of others. I have seen it melt anger, dissolve fear, build bridges, heal old wounds, and spark hope in places that seemed hopeless. I have watched as quiet acts of care transformed entire families, neighborhoods, and communities. It starts with one person, one moment, one choice. The ripple grows. Living with an open heart means seeing the beauty in others and letting yourself be seen too. It means asking for help when you need it, sharing your struggles honestly, and allowing others to support you in return. This is not weakness, it is courage. The courage to be vulnerable, to be real, to be human. I hope you'll let kindness and compassion shape your days, your words, your choices, your dreams. Let them be the legacy you leave, the light you share, the love that echoes long after you're gone. And as we journey further along this path of kindness, I want you to picture your life as a garden, one where every compassionate thought, every gentle word, every selfless act is a seed you plant, often without even realizing it. Over time, these seeds blossom into blooms of hope and comfort, not only for yourself, but for everyone who walks by, whether they pause to notice or simply pass through on a hard day. It's easy sometimes to doubt whether the little things you do matter, especially when the world is so vast and its troubles so many. But I promise you, each act of goodness matters. It is in the quiet, persistent tending of our hearts, just as a gardener waters, weeds, and cares for the earth, that real change happens. The world might sometimes seem harsh or indifferent, but you can be certain that kindness always finds its way, lighting up shadows, warming cold places, bringing relief to aching spirits. Living with an open heart also means accepting that you too are worthy of care. So often the most compassionate souls are the ones who forget to offer gentleness to themselves. I hope you'll remember that your own feelings matter, that your rest is important, your dreams are worth tending, your wounds deserve healing. When you stumble or falter, as everyone does, forgive yourself. When you are weary, rest. When you feel alone, reach out and let others support you just as you would wish to support them. There is no shame in needing help. In fact, vulnerability is often the key that unlocks true connection. Others may see themselves in your honesty and find the courage to be more open, more real, and more loving in their own lives. The journey of living with an open heart is not always easy. You will encounter disappointments, misunderstandings, and moments when your kindness seems to fall on barren ground. There will be times when you feel discouraged or wonder if it is worth the effort to keep showing up with softness in a world that sometimes values hard edges. On those days, let your heart rest in the simple truth that being kind is never wasted. The world needs your tenderness. Sometimes, just the act of keeping your heart open, refusing to grow bitter, choosing compassion over cynicism, offering patience when it's hardest, is a profound act of courage. It's in these moments that your character is shaped, your wisdom deepened, and your light shines brightest. And over time, you will find your spirit growing strong and resilient, able to weather storms with grace, to find hope even in difficulty, to believe in beauty and goodness even when life feels heavy. Open-hearted living also means seeing the best in others, even when it is hidden beneath layers of pain, fear, or defensiveness.
It means believing that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have, even if their best sometimes falls short. Instead of rushing to judge, pause to wonder what unseen burdens they carry, what disappointments they have endured, what hopes they still quietly nurture. Offer encouragement instead of criticism, patience instead of impatience, and above all, the simple gift of being present. Sometimes just being willing to listen without trying to fix or change, without rushing to give advice, is the greatest act of compassion you can offer. You don't have to have all the answers. You only have to be willing to be there, to care, to let your presence speak for itself. There is something beautiful that happens when you live with an open heart. You start to notice beauty everywhere, even in unexpected places. A shaft of light falling across a room, the laughter of children playing, the song of a bird outside your window, the kindness of a stranger, a memory that returns to you with sudden warmth. You realize that life's deepest joys are found not in grand events or dramatic gestures, but in these small, everyday miracles. Your days become more textured, more meaningful, because you are awake to the world and alive to the people in it. You see the sacred in the ordinary. You let gratitude shape your days. And as gratitude grows, so does your capacity for kindness. It's a gentle cycle that transforms not only your life, but the world around you. In your relationships, open-heartedness creates true intimacy and trust. It allows you to show up honestly, to admit when you are wrong, to ask for forgiveness, to offer forgiveness in return. It teaches you to hold space for other people's stories and to let yourself be changed by what you learn. It helps you weather the storms that inevitably arise, misunderstandings, disagreements, moments of distance, because you know that love is not about perfection, but about perseverance, patience, and the willingness to keep coming back again and again to the work of caring. You will find that the richest relationships are not those without conflict, but those where both people are willing to show up with humility and a desire to grow. Kindness in action also means giving what you can, where you are, with what you have. You don't need great wealth or endless energy to make a difference. Sometimes your simple presence is the greatest gift. A phone call to someone who is lonely, a meal for a neighbor, a note slipped into a lunch bag, a compliment freely given, a gentle question.
how are you really? Never underestimate how powerful these small gestures can be. They are the threads that bind us together as a human family, the reminders that none of us is alone. And in your moments of solitude, let your open heart be a source of creativity and renewal. Whether you paint or write, bake or build, garden or play music, let yourself lose track of time and activities that bring you joy. These are not selfish pursuits. They are the way your spirit refuels so you can keep giving, keep caring, keep showing up. In the quiet of your own company, you will hear your truest thoughts, discover your deepest longings, and come to trust the wisdom that lives within you. Let me remind you too that the world needs your laughter, your lightness, your playfulness. Kindness is not only about tending to suffering, it is also about sharing delight, spreading joy, finding reasons to celebrate. Dance in your kitchen, sing in the shower, tell stories that make others smile. Laughter is its own kind of healing, a way to remind yourself and others that even on the hardest days, there is room for hope. If you are ever tempted to close your heart, to retreat, to become hard or cynical, remember this: every person you meet is someone's child, someone's friend, someone who has known sorrow and hope, fear and love. Remember that your kindness might be the only softness they encounter that day. Let this knowledge keep your heart open, even when it feels risky. And if your kindness is rejected or misunderstood, let it go with grace.
You are not responsible for how others receive your care. You are only responsible for the sincerity of your own heart. As you continue to live with an open heart, let your story become a source of encouragement for others. Share what you have learned, offer comfort where you can, and never underestimate the power of your example. In a world hungry for hope, your quiet, persistent kindness is a light that can guide others home. And as the days pass and seasons change, I hope you'll remember that living with an open heart is not about being perfect or never feeling afraid, but about coming back again and again to that quiet center within yourself where kindness lives. There will be mornings when you feel tired or uncertain, evenings when the world's troubles seem too much to bear, and times when the weight of your own worries presses heavy on your shoulders. In those moments, I invite you to pause, to breathe, to let your own gentle voice be the one that soothes and encourages you, just as you would for someone you love. Tell yourself, it's okay. I'm doing my best. I am allowed to rest, to make mistakes, to be human. Let your own compassion be the soft blanket that comforts you, and trust that even in your vulnerability, you are worthy of love. Let's talk about the power of forgiveness, for others and for yourself. Holding on to old hurts is like carrying stones in your pocket. Each one weighs you down, slows your steps, dims the lightness of your spirit. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what was wrong. It means deciding that your own peace matters more than keeping score. When you forgive, you set yourself free, creating space for new joy, new hope, and new beginnings. If there are people in your life you need to forgive, or if there are pieces of your own story that need gentleness, I hope you'll start, even if just a little, today. Whisper your forgiveness into the quiet, write it in a letter, or simply let your heart loosen its grip and allow healing to begin. Life is too short to carry old burdens. Each day is a chance to choose peace.
And remember, my dear, kindness does not always look the same. Sometimes it is soft and nurturing, a hug, a warm meal, a patient ear. Other times, kindness is fierce, the courage to stand up for what is right, to defend those who cannot defend themselves, to speak truth even when your voice trembles. There is kindness in boundaries, in saying no to what hurts you or others, in choosing honesty over easy comfort. An open heart is not weak. It is strong in ways the world does not always recognize. You can be gentle and brave, forgiving and firm, patient and passionate, all at once. Let your heart lead you, and trust that it will know the difference. As you continue to grow, you'll notice that the more kindness you give, the more kindness you see. The world will start to reflect your gentleness back to you, sometimes in obvious ways, like a stranger's smile or an unexpected helping hand, and sometimes in quieter ways, like a feeling of peace that settles over you at the end of a long day, knowing you lived with integrity and care. Over time, the habit of kindness becomes who you are, not a performance or a mask, but the natural expression of your spirit. I want you to remember, too, that you are always allowed to begin again. No matter how many times you lose your patience, or forget to be gentle, or fall short of your own ideals, every sunrise is a fresh start. Every breath, an invitation to return to your best self. Growth is not linear. Healing is not a straight road. The open heart forgives itself as often as it must and keeps moving forward, step by gentle step. You are not alone on this journey. Every person you admire, every elder you trust, has struggled and stumbled and learned along the way. Let your mistakes be your teachers, not your jailers. Let me share with you a secret from my own life. Some of my dearest friendships, my most treasured memories, began with a small act of kindness, a note slipped into a lunchbox, a shared cup of tea on a rainy day, a quiet, "I'm here for you," in a moment of grief. Never underestimate the power of the small things.
It is in the ordinary, everyday moments that love and compassion find their home. Make time for the people you care about, even if it's just a quick message or a short walk together. Celebrate their victories, mourn their losses, listen to their stories. These are the ties that will hold you steady through all of life's changes. And don't forget to be gentle with the world, too, with animals, with the land, with the living things that share your days. Water a plant, feed a stray, pick up litter in your neighborhood, recycle, and remember that the earth is a home we all share. Every act of kindness toward the natural world is a promise to future generations, a way of saying, I was here and I cared. Let your compassion extend beyond your own circle, and you will find yourself feeling more connected, more whole. And so, as the journey of kindness and compassion stretches onward, let us keep traveling together through the soft meadows and quiet forests of reflection, where each step is a small act of courage, and each breath a gentle promise to keep our hearts open, no matter what the world brings. There will be days when your spirit feels tired, when the world's troubles seem too great, and your own troubles too heavy. But even in those moments, the simple act of choosing kindness toward yourself, toward another, toward the earth itself, becomes a beacon in the darkness.
I have learned that compassion is not just a feeling, but a practice, an art you shape day by day with your thoughts, words, and actions. You might wake one morning and feel hope burning bright, ready to pour love into everything you do. On another day, you may feel fragile and uncertain, struggling to find your footing. Both are natural. Both are part of being human. And both are invitations to return again to the gentle practice of kindness.
If you can't do great things, do small things with great love. Each one is enough. In the long arc of a life, it is not perfection that matters, but persistence. Every moment you choose patience over anger, listening over judgment, gentleness over harshness, you are writing another line in the story of your own soul. Let me tell you about the quiet strength of ordinary people, those who become the roots and branches of their communities by quietly showing up day after day to care and to serve. I have known elders who, though their own hands were worn by work and years, still found ways to bake extra bread for a neighbor, to tend a sick friend's garden, to offer a smile to every child who passed by. I have seen young people, sometimes dismissed as too inexperienced or distracted, be the first to speak out against injustice, to defend a friend who was hurting, to volunteer their time for a cause they believed in. Compassion is not limited by age, wealth, or circumstance. It is the birthright of every soul, and it grows as it is given. Sometimes the greatest kindness is simply to witness someone else's story, to listen without interruption, to offer your attention as a shelter where they can lay down their burdens. You may never know the ripple effect your care has. It might echo across years and continents, or it might transform just one quiet afternoon in someone's life. Both are miracles. As you move through this world, remember that your own needs matter too. Living with an open heart does not mean pouring yourself out until you are empty. It means tending to the well within you so that your giving is strong and sustainable. It is not selfish to say, "I need help," to set boundaries that protect your energy, to take time for rest, solitude, creativity, and renewal. In fact, it is a form of wisdom. When you honor your limits, you teach others to honor theirs, and you help create a world where everyone is allowed to rest and to heal. Find the practices that restore you: a walk in nature, the music that stirs your soul, prayer or meditation, art, laughter, the company of a trusted friend, and make space for them, just as you would for any beloved guest. The more you nourish yourself, the more you will find your compassion flowing effortlessly, naturally, as an overflowing spring. Let us also remember that kindness can be radical, even world-changing, when it is joined with courage and a willingness to see the truth. There are times when compassion calls us to speak up, to stand with those who are suffering or oppressed, to use our voices and our actions to bend the world toward justice. These acts may feel risky or uncomfortable, but they are born from the same root as the quietest acts of care: the belief that every person is worthy of dignity, safety, and love. Let your kindness be both gentle and bold. Learn the stories of others, especially those who are different from you, whose experiences may challenge your own, and let their stories expand your understanding, deepen your empathy, and fuel your determination to make things better. The open heart is not naive or blind to suffering. It is willing to see pain clearly and to act, even when the world shrugs or turns away. In the ebb and flow of life, you will find that compassion sometimes means letting go
of old grudges, of expectations that no longer serve you, of relationships that have grown toxic or painful. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself as much as anyone else. It frees you to walk lighter, to begin anew, to make room for joy and possibility. Let your heart be a safe place for yourself first, and you will find it easier to be a refuge for others as well. As the seasons turn, you will notice the gifts of kindness multiply. The more you seek beauty, the more you find it in the smile lines of a loved one, in the colors of a sunrise, in the laughter that bubbles up for no reason at all. Your life becomes rich, not through the things you possess, but through the memories you make, the friendships you nurture, the moments you are truly present.
Treasure the rituals that give meaning to your days. A cup of tea in the morning, a call to someone far away, a walk at dusk, a song that reminds you of home. Let these small joys be your compass, pointing you again and again toward the goodness that never leaves, no matter what changes or is lost. And so, as you continue your journey, I invite you to be gentle with yourself, to let your heart remain open to the wonders and sorrows of this world, to trust that you are always enough just as you are. Every act of compassion, every effort to understand, every moment you choose hope over despair adds to the sum of goodness in the world. Thank you, truly, for letting these words be a companion on your path, for being a bearer of kindness, for lighting the way for others. If you found comfort or encouragement here today, please let your heart guide you to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, send it to someone who might need gentle encouragement, and subscribe so we can keep growing this circle of kindness together. May you always remember that your kindness matters, that you are never alone, and that by living with an open heart, you are lighting the way for others, one gentle moment at a time.